Good evening, TheoTrade. This is Corey Rosenblum, and you're watching the Theo Nightly video for the 15th of January 2020. Comparing in the Nasdaq, we're above 9,000. In the Dow Mini Futures, we're above 29,000. But the Russell is the weakest. You can't really see it there on the daily chart, so we'll take a look at the weekly chart to see that. We are underneath the all-time high, which is just under 1750 on the small cap specific Russell index, despite being a new 2020 high. And we'll take a look at the other indices on the weekly chart while we're here. So keep in mind that as strange as this market is in the rising economy and everything else that's going on, higher highs, higher lows in the uptrend, we've seen this, but we've seen it worse. And well, if you're bearish, seen it worse, but in general, the slope or the steepness of the incline was stronger in 2017. It went parabolic, right? Markets go through periods of range contraction, range expansion, and that certainly was off the chart. Range contraction, and then range expansion. And that is the Dow. Nasdaq, that's quite strong. The technology sector and technology names, they've been in focus and in play. And they've continued to drive the market and, of course, market cap indices themselves to new all-time highs. That's taken the Nasdaq through 9,000. And finishing up with the S&P 500, not quite as steep of a incline, but again, compare what we're seeing now to what we saw in 2017. So that's the broader perspective there. What stocks are joining the market at all-time highs? And let's take a look. How many of them? A simple scan of the S&P 500, and what are we doing here? It's our new yearly high scan. Stocks making new annual highs, or our new 52-week highs. There's a lot of stocks making new 2020 highs, but we're focusing on an annual performance. So going back a year, which stocks are joining the S&P at all-time highs? Just a quick little thinkorswim scan. Well, we do this frequently, and the logic is that which is strong tends to get stronger. That which is uptrending tends to keep uptrending. And our strategy is to buy pullbacks, retracements, get in-out spreads, call spreads, maybe even butterflies into these trending stocks. And if we sort these by market cap, there's no way we can cover 68 stocks adequately in a 10-minute evening video. But we'll focus on the top market cap, and that's what I've done. I've sorted these stocks by their market cap value. So Microsoft is up at the top. Now, keep in mind, Apple is, at least of today, not one of the new stocks making all-time highs. Interesting for that bit of information. But Visa is the second, Coca-Cola, and Adobe, Bristol Myers Squibb, Eli Lilly, Next Era Energy, Lockheed Martin, and Goldman Sachs. The list goes on from there. I'll just scroll for the purpose of the video. That way you can see if your candidate or a stock that you're looking at might be on the list. So all the way down to Rago, and that is with an $8 million market cap. The other way to see this chart is by sector. And what do I mean by that? We take a look at the sector to see where the money is flowing. If you're seeing strong assets or strong flow, money flow into offensive names, and that would be financials and technology mostly, or consumer discretionary, which is there, that's a bullish sign for the market. If instead you're seeing healthcare and utilities and otherwise defensive names like consumer staples, it's not quite as bullish. Well, the picture is mixed. So here are the industrials, here are discretionary or retail names. And we do have our staples, Coca-Cola, Kellogg's, Estee Lauder, and Brown-Forman. A lot of stocks, we mentioned this in chat today, were making new highs in the healthcare industry. And you can see that right over here. Healthcare was the number 2% sector gainer on today's session, followed by staples, but the number 1 gainer, as we'll see right here, was utilities. We've been focusing on Southern Company in the chat, some of the other videos, because it's a uptrending stock that keeps uptrending. And we can see it's right here again, next to Edison, Next Era, Alliant, Intergy, and some others. Let's take a look at some of these. This again is our broader picture. And if you're new, I look at the daily chart on the left. It gives me the trend, any moving averages, any trend lines, etc. On the right is mainly for short-term or intraday traders, or to get a sense of clearer trend lines that you might draw for trade entry or position management. Just the hourly chart to the right. Again, the logic is, and the edge, the probability, if something is trending now, especially if it's getting high volume, statistically speaking, it tends to keep trending into the future. And so we as traders, I typically recommend buy strategies into rising trends. You can do it numerous ways through in-out spreads, which is a little bit more conservative, or straight verticals. Buy an in-the-money call, sell the out-of-the-money call for an in-out, and then buy an out-of-the-money call, and then hedge or sell an out-of-the-money further out for those vertical spreads. I like that because the pullbacks give us good spots to enter. Each time it pulls back to the rising trend line, or if you use the 20 or 50-day moving average or other types of averages, that's a good spot to manage risk and get in with a good probability of profit. Microsoft is a little overextended now, so there's not much to say about a current position there, unless you are already holding long, in which case it's probably a take profits outcome. If you're super aggressive, you can see how the market does not go straight up, but it waves, which means the next wave or swing probably is to the downside. Not much though, to about 160. Visa has a similar structure, although it's gone off the rails and is going like it did an earlier part of 2019, which is relentless to the upside. Again, that which is strong tends to get stronger, and these scans, simple as they may be, can help us find candidates to get long into to take part of the trend. And there's not much to do here again. That's probably where we are. I'm not deploying a whole lot of in-out spreads or vertical positions only because markets are so overbought, and I as a trader prefer to pick up purchases on pullbacks, and we just aren't seeing that on the broader picture. So I am, for the most part, keeping my account and powder dry for future pullbacks. Coca-Cola is another example of, it's a defensive stock, but still higher highs, higher lows. There's Adobe, which is relentless as well. Gaps, breakouts, right? The only spot that was logistical for an entry was two chances here at the end of, or the beginning of December, and those were pullback trades, and that stock took out those highs and extended on good volume. Bristol Myers Squibb, another one. So find something strong, expect it to keep getting stronger, manage risk by purchasing or constructing in-out spreads, vertical spreads, or other type of trend joining or participation strategies, bullish strategies. That could include selling some puts beneath it, but the low volatility doesn't really lend itself to aggressive put selling strategies right now, given that the market could turn and go to the downside. We still prefer call or purchase, premium purchase strategies. And we won't go through them all. But Eli Lilly is another. We'll finish this one on the weekly perspective just to show you how strong these breakout maneuvers or breakout trend events can be. And it also underscores how dangerous it can be and risky and tough to stand in front of these freight train trends. Just sometimes better to go with the trend or avoid it than trying to call that elusive top or the end of a downtrend. That's one little top, one little peak, one little turning point, and a whole lot of other points that did not turn out to be a high. So buy strategies or trend joining strategies on the bigger picture tend to work out with these type of runaway markets. And this is Thermo Fisher, TMO, just another one that is continuing to the upside. Oh, mentioned Southern Company. It's still on our list and still trending up. There's the most recent buy we called out, and it has exceeded, well gone beyond the prior high of 64. We'll take you to the daily chart. There was a couple of buy opportunities, a buy position here, low to high. We got the recent bull flag, and that's another one that's taken off to the upside on strong bull volume. We don't want to fight these things. We want to join them, but not just risk seeking. We want to get them on pullbacks, retracements, or bull flags. And that's not happening right now. Keep your powder dry. Keep your accounts safe. Right? This won't last forever, but it's a situation we have right now. As always, be careful and safe. This is Corey Rosenblum with your Theo Nightly Video for January 15th, 2020.